This week on the bench, we're going to tell you about the tricked out Chromie. Now, a Chromie is a very well-known chironomid that seems to work well when the fish are feeding in that upper 3 to 4 feet of water. Make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. For the hook, we'll use a Mustad C49S size 10 curved caddis, some 8 olive dun thread to tie with, some large silver holographic tinsel for the body, some hot yellow ultra wire for the ribbing, a 7/64 inch gold tungsten bead, some light olive stretch floss for the thorax, some white ostrich herl for the gills, and some fluorescent orange fabric paint for the slashes. To start the fly off, I've tied on my thread, kept it near the eyelet, taken a small strand of my white ostrich herl, and again I'm going to tie it in near the eyelet, and then wrapping in front of my thread, but still behind the eye, take about 3 or 4 wraps and tie it off. This will be our gills. I've whip finished my thread off and actually put my bead up, and remember, when you put your tungsten bead on, make sure the big end or the fatter end goes towards your gills, because it'll slide up a little further and cover the gills. Retied on my thread to the back of the hook, and now I'm going to tie in my gold or my yellow wire. Gold or yellow, even some orange wire works fine. All we're trying to do is match this wire with the slashes we'll put on the fly a little later. So tie that in the rear of the hook. Once the wire is tied in at the back of the hook, I'm going to take a strand of our holographic tinsel, going to tie it in at the rear of the hook, and then wrap it forward about 2/3 up the hook to form the body. Now that the body's tied in, take our wire that we've had sitting off the back, and this is our gold or yellow wire. And we're going to take about 5 to 6 turns to form the rib on the fly. Now that the body's tied in, we're going to take some light olive stretch floss and we'll tie it in for the thorax. And again, when you tie this material in, just catch a piece of it on the corner and then pull it nice and tight, because we want this thorax and this stretch floss to stay fairly thin, and just build it up a little bit tapered towards the bead, and then we'll tie it off. To finish the fly off, we're going to take our whip finisher and whip finish right behind the bead, and then cut off your thread. And then what we're going to do is turn the fly on an angle, turn it on its side, make sure it's nice and flat, directly flush and parallel with your tabletop, and put on our orange slashes using a bodkin or a needle and our orange, fluorescent orange fabric paint. Okay. So there it is, the tricked out Chromie. Again, original patterns are a great starting point. But remember, when you trick something out, you can make it that much more effective. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.